Hello there my fellow holotable heroes and welcome to another Grand Arena counter testing video. In this one I'll show you some of the things I was trying out in week 3 of the current 3v3 Grand Arena season. So I'll show you some battles that didn't work and then what did, and then in the end I will also show you some fleet battles because I was keeping Chimaera on offense for the first time now that I do have Gear 11 sister pilot, so I was able to max out her ability, and I did also test battle versus Negotiator, so definitely stay tuned to the end of the video for that one. But now let's first start with what didn't work. Now this counter, as you can see from SWGOH.GG, 94% win rate, so I'm like, alright, let's get this thing going, get a taunt up, let's clean that up. Obviously stuck behind the taunt there on all three, but luckily Mando can ignore the taunt, so I can just go ahead, put a hit in dash and call Griftosis, dodge number 1. You will see the theme of this video already and why this didn't work for me. Dodge number 2. Man, dodge number 3. Oh boy, can somebody already get a hit on dash? Dodge number 4 already. So at this point, I'm like, let's put airplane mode, dodge number 5. So as you can see, by this point, I would already have a contract because I had 5 dodges. That point I didn't have contract yet, so I wasn't able to insta-kill dash. So definitely I think that this counter, as you can see from the data, 271 battle, it works 94% of the time, but for me, unfortunately, I just had really bad RNG run, 5 dodges there, failed to get contract fast enough to disintegrate their dash. Moving on, we got Starkiller. Now normally people put Pulp and Mara with Starkiller, but I did come across this Darth Vader team. Now CLS can work about 50% of the time versus Pulp Mara lineup, so I thought, you know what, let's just give this a go with my CLS. As you'll see, my guys are not like the best modded. Also Luke, he's only relic free, so keep that in mind as I'll be showing you the battle as well. So this, I think this potentially maybe could work, I don't know, we'll see. But definitely you can see 4 people tried it in the current season, and you know, a 0% win rate. But obviously probably want to go after Vader. Obviously can't stun him because of Starkiller. I'm go ahead now, put buff immunity on Kenobi so I don't get stuck behind his taunt, getting some counterattacks, fuels our turn meter. Again, can't stun him, but just put a big hit in Vader. Now unfortunately he's got their critical damage immunity. He's recovering some health and protection when those damage over times expire. I keep going, I got him in the yellow there, and this is where things slightly go downhill now when Vader gets his turns. But as you can see, I'm very close to taking out Vader, so potentially with a high relic, especially Luke, maybe some better offense mods on these guys, maybe Chewbacca modded for offense, you should be able to burn down this Vader, hopefully. And then once Vader is out, I think you could handle these guys, I don't know. So obviously had to clean this up, bring in Jedi Revan with Yoda and Bastila there. Obviously we'll start with Tenacity up because of Revan's lead, so hopefully that will prevent them from getting some debuff. But look at the damage their Starkiller is doing. Already triggered Savior. But anyway, let's go ahead, spread some foresight now. Vader's basic can't be evaded. Let's go ahead, clean that up, call Yoda for assist. Now we do have Vader mark, so we can go ahead, ignore the taunt and get him out. And as soon as Vader is down, this team pretty much falls apart. Obviously Starkiller has 30% chance to counterattack, but whenever your characters do have strategic advantage, which now will pass over to my Jedi Knight Revan, he won't be able to counterattack. Here was a dilemma, to go for Starkiller, deal with his counterattacks. I thought, you know what, might as well, he's still far away from his ultimate anyways. But as you can see, as soon as Darth Vader goes down, this team pretty much falls apart. So maybe with some, you know, Relic 8 CLS team, well modded, they could burn down their Darth Vader fast enough, and then the rest kind of, you know, becomes much easier. So there you go, clean up. And let's move on now to the successful battles. So those were the failures I wanted to show you. I've seen this working before, Wampa versus Qui-Gon Jinn, Omicron, and obviously Chenata, Anakin, and Qi'ra in there. Now for this, in order to work, you will need that Zeta on Wampa for the healing immunity, because the way this works is you put healing immunity on these guys, you get them to low health, you take out Qui-Gon, and then the other guys can't heal because of the healing immunity, and then they just die from damage over times. So I guess this kind of depends whether that damage immunity, healing immunity lands or not. As you can see, over 500 people have tried this and has 40% win rate. So either they try this without the Zeta, or maybe the enemies, they just resisted the healing immunity. I'm not sure, but as you can see, so far so good. There we go, landed healing immunity on everybody, getting some counterattacks. So definitely want to get Anakin into the red now. So whenever he gets a turn, he will have healing immunity on him, and then we'll be able to, he'll just die off. So they go reapplying healing immunity before finishing off Qui-Gon. Because of healing immunity, Anakin wasn't able to heal up and just died from damage over times. So this, when it works well, but you can definitely see a lot of things going wrong. Now another heal counter with Wampa solo that will depend, I think, again on that healing immunity, because with Bossk, obviously whenever their bounty hunter, their allies, they will be attempting to apply debuffs, they will be healing up whether debuffs land or not. But again, if you do have that Zeta to also land healing immunity on these guys, then hopefully you should be able to keep under control their healing. So again, it's one of those things that maybe relies on healing immunity, maybe not, because as you'll see, the win rate here is basically 99%, and nearly 100 people have tried this. So maybe it doesn't rely all that much on that healing immunity, I'm not sure. But there we go, just smash an AoE to get the bonus protection going. Okay, some counterattacks, and there we go, we landed healing immunity now on Bossk, not on the other guys, but anyway, we're stuck behind Bossk, so might as well keep going after him, and keep going, keep going. There we go, get healing immunity over there, and get down Zam as well, and boom, so there you go, quite easy and straightforward there. Alright, so let's move on. This time I also kept Iden for offense. I just wanted to see in 3v3 what Iden can do. It seems like the best use that I found for her so far was taking down Commander Luke Skywalker. Again, these are Relic 8 rebels, so if I can take these guys down, obviously with my low gear Iden, and then Relic 3 on the other two troopers, I think, you know, that's pretty good. We'll see how it goes, I guess. Will we have enough damage to burn for these guys? But obviously with Iden, we'll start with 100% turn meter on her, so we'll be able to get a stun on Luke, and obviously their rebels can't resist this, so there is no way that this obviously doesn't happen. And once you get stun on Luke, I guess you can stop their turn meter train. About 82% win rate with this specific comp that I'm using here, so it looks like people can lose. So let's see how this one will go. Now we go. Hardly doing any damage on Relic 8 Luke, but you know, we'll just keep pushing. Let's get some assists going. Not too worried about obviously Iden dying off, because she'll revive anyway. Can't land anything on Luke, any sort of other here debuffs. Can't land the daze there on Death Trooper. Got some counterattacks now. Luke healing up. Obviously now that he does have call to action, his tenacity is reduced. Luckily I've got here another stun coming in from Iden. Got healing immunity on him, so hopefully he won't be able to heal up for a couple of turns. Keep going, that's fine, keep hitting Iden. Boy, okay, here we go, there we go. So now that Luke does have call to action, you should be able to land some debuffs on him with Death Trooper. Hopefully get a daze, get a stun, almost got him. There we go, with Luke down you thought like, alright, done and dusted, easy win, right? Almost. But Relic 8 3PO and Chewie nearly took out my Death Trooper there with his big AoE. I've tried this versus, like, you know, Relic 5 Rebels, and it was a lot smoother, a lot easier. So definitely this is edge case scenario going up against Relic 8s. But definitely good use of Iden in my opinion. Rey Jedi training, you don't often see her on defense. It's always that team that I'm kind of like, well, I know Traya works, but Traya will be low banners. So I'm trying to find, you know, a cheap counter to these Rey teams, if you do see them on defense, that can get you, you know, max or close to max banner at least, because obviously Rey with her healing immunity, you know, that can't be cleansed off, can snipe some banners away. Had a look on SWGOH.gg, and apparently this Mothma comp has a 100% win rate. I'm like, okay, let's give it a go. Now my guys are relicked, but low relics. some, you know, average mods on them, nothing too crazy. I don't really use Mothma all that much anymore. She's not as useful as she used to be with all these new Omicron teams coming up. But I'm like, you know what, let's give this a go. And as you can see, 14 people tried it this season and it has a 100% win rate. I don't know, the way this battle went, it didn't feel like 100% win rate to me, but let's keep it going. Obviously, why bringing Point Scout here is for the turn meter. Now the main issue is that I found was obviously Rey dodging a lot, and whenever she dodges, she heals up, same as BB-8. And whenever you do get somebody finally kind of into low health protection, then R2 comes with his smoke screen and hides them. So it's definitely a little bit of a, you know, jumping from an enemy to an enemy before you finally get somebody down. So there we go, they got Pao now, a healing immunity on him, so can't heal him up. Decided to put airplane mode on, while switch off my Wi-Fi there just to see. Luckily there Pao got taken out, but obviously you do have that revive from Mothma. But with R2 out, actually things become a lot easier. He's not hiding people anymore, he's not using his AoE that fuels turn meter to them. So as soon as I got him out, things became a little bit more easy, a little bit more stable. But as you can see, Rey is still dodging a lot. Finally got Rey down. I'm just trying to stall out the battle. Obviously put my Wi-Fi back on and so see if I can heal all the way back up for a full 57 banner win. So the final result, you know, doesn't really show the real picture of this battle, because you've seen things could go wrong potentially, but you know, so far 100% win rate, well, I'll take it. Up next we got Padme. Now Padme, they used to have Jedi Anakin in there, but obviously everybody's using Anakin now with Qui-Gon, Omicron in Grand Arena. So usually for that I would bring in before Throne instead of Sign, just that you can keep a fracture obviously there all over an Anakin. But without Anakin, just full Sith trio should handle this quite easily. Obviously we'll have to find a way to get around the taunts there on Mace, because he'll keep taunting, so we'll see if we can isolate on Padme or not. 93% win rate. Unfortunately they're going after Nihilus, and stun from Padme cannot be cleansed. Now here I decided to save the AoE spell from Sion until after Padme uses her heal, so we can get rid of all that protection up. There you go, going to just have to isolate him. They've got protection up, and this is where I do this spell, because obviously if they do stack some courage now, they could potentially finish off one of my guys. So that's why maybe you try to hold off on that dispel until after Padme does her heal. So obviously going towards first annihilate. Now here I just did basic on Padme again to dispel protection up. I don't want them to be stacking protection up so they can start getting courage, because anyway I had only one turn to annihilate, so no point of wasting life drain there. Rather get rid of protection up. Now I can go ahead and annihilate Padme, and obviously as soon as Padme is down, they have no way really of do much here, to be honest. Just keeping Mace isolated so he doesn't counterattack and stuff. See if I can get Sion back to full protection, so at least I can recover one banner on him. There we go, Sion at full protection. Time to annihilate Mace. 55 banners, as good as it gets really with Traya. Pretty much in every battle, because Sion is the only one that can cover protection. Now this Nute Django B1 team can be a little bit annoying. I mean, there are literally millions of ways to beat this team, but they are very, very good at sniping banners. Now it still had a few Jedi left here, so this team was on the back wall. So decided to do that. So Janet look lead whenever obviously you do use Heroes Arise. Everybody recovers some protection, so a little bit of protection recovery there. And then Qi'ra himself, whenever he switches to the defensive formation when, you know, he's taunting, then actually whenever he uses his basic, he's also recovering some protection. So between those two protection recoveries, you could walk away with some good banners. As you can see, 15 people try this, 100% win rate, so you know, there's no really question of who's winning this one. Getting Heroes Arise, get Luke a turn, do a mass stun, here comes some ability blocks, offense down as well. And now first you just want to get rid of B1 as quickly as you can. Luckily there, Qi'ra on his basic, he double taps, so he should be able to quickly burn down B1. Obviously now that we do have Jedi Wheel, we've got counter attacks as well, so nearly got B1 down. I think just some basic there will do. So B1's out, so don't have to worry about his AoE sniping banners. Going after Django next. There we go, and Heroes Arise again. get Django out. Now obviously I have to deal with Nute here and his extortion, so that's why here I switched to defensive formation there for Ki-Adi-Mundi. So whenever I use his basic, he will be recovering protection. Here comes extortion again not having full protection, but luckily here I had Hero's Rise to use again, which again recovered a little bit of protection everybody, just enough that I got to max 57 banners versus this very annoying Nute team. Alright, up next we got Qi'ra, obviously there with Nest, Relic 7 Nest. Definitely I was slightly worried about Nest here, because Relic 7, you know, Nest can hit pretty hard. Now luckily it's an necessity mode and not offense, but still, and they do have armor in here, so obviously you don't want armor putting that 3 stacks of Beskar on Nest. Definitely don't want that to happen. Obviously it's a random who gets it, so it's a 50% chance that Nest get it. But hopefully we can obviously take Nest out anyways, even if she does get it with Mando's Disintegrate. So I'm just slightly concerned obviously how much damage Nest can put out. But there we go, get a taunt up, we do have speed advantage. Going after Qi'ra to go for contract. I'm like, do I go for a mass attack on Qi'ra for a contract? Yeah, might as well, let's go. Because the other option would be maybe to stun armor, but armor for her first move she will use her here attack anyway, even though she had 3 stacks of Beskar already at that point. But here we have to hurry up now. Contract triggered, luckily. I'm just going to go ahead, take out Nest, it doesn't even matter. Maybe stun armor, no stuns, doesn't even matter because I finished Qi'ra before armor got her turn. So only 2 people try this exact comp, 100% win rate. I'm adding to the stats as well with a win there for easy 57 banners. Alright. I was using Chimaera now for the first time on offense, because I do have Gear 11 second sister, I believe. Second sister? She's the pilot for TIE Interceptor, so you can max out her abilities. So we go, we started with a big hit over on Anakin, and another hit there with Vader, got him low. So then the enemy Negotiator instead started off with Unending Loyalty instead of AoE. And here, where Interceptor does all the work, comes in, dispels, lands buff immunity. And if you do land buff immunity on Anakin, that's pretty much game over for the enemy very quickly. Also got buff immunity on Y-Wing, so they can't go into stealth, they can't taunt. Putting a hit over there as well. Got him in the yellow, just one more hit and Anakin is down already. I was like, whoa, this worked really well. So this is about 87% win rate from over 100 people tried it. So I guess it depends whether that healing immunity, buff immunity when you reinforce TIE Interceptor lands or not. If it doesn't land on Anakin, probably, you know, battle could go a little bit sideways, but still, you know, look at this. We're nearly down, just bringing in now Gauntlet for the heal actually. I'm just going to burn down their Y-Wing. Oh, they're able to bring in Blow for the clans. So definitely there's a little bit of RNG I guess in this one, so definitely I'll be doing more testing as more Grand Arenas come, but not everybody put Negotiator on defense, so it's not always the easiest thing to test how consistent this is. But as long as you landed buff immunity, I think you should be good to go. 71 banners versus Negotiator, you know, hardly breaking a sweat there. As I said, you know, I just had one Negotiator in the whole week to try out. So another one I tried versus Raddus. I know Raddus isn't, you know, top defensive team, but still I wanted to try it out here just to see how that will work. But you know, we got these spells here, so we should be good to go. There we go, coming in, dispelling, and obviously Raddus does have a dispel, so they could cleanse all these debuffs that we applied. Here I'm just looking which ability to use, so I decided to go for that one. I've got target lock, let's see if we can you do ability block, but they'll just probably cleanse anyway, so let's just go ahead, do a basic. Alright, so here comes the dispel. Okay, they're dropping some bombs, and here comes another dispel. And this is pretty much how you control Raddus. You just have to keep dispelling to make sure they don't have deflector shields, so they're not regaining foresight, so then they can't get to the hold maneuver. Here I've decided to do, you know, an AoE here. It wasn't enough, because again, my sister, even though at Gear 11 is only, I think at that point was 4 stars, so, you know, didn't do a whole lot of damage. But man, just how much damage the basic from Vader is doing when it creates that is. So they're bringing in another tank, so we'll just keep going, bringing in here Shuttle as well. Again, Shuttle's got a dispel and buff immunity on target locked enemies, so so much dispels here with Empire that, you know, handling Raddus shouldn't be really an issue for a high 72 banner win. Alright, so final battle for today, and I've done Rebels versus Empire under Chimaera, but I haven't tried it versus Executrix yet. So I tried this for the first time, but the strategy I had was the same. As you can see, it's a 100% win rate, but very low banners on average, 54, so definitely might not be the cleanest one. I guess it depends on how many assists you get here with your Falcon and everything, but so far so good. We're burning down here Bomber. And this is, I think, the main difference why Executrix could be better defensively versus Home 1, because it's a faster ship, so they're able to get out the first reinforcement before your Home 1 gets a turn. Versus Chimaera is slower, this would not happen. So by the time Chimaera reinforces, you'll be able to already do more damage on them, and you wouldn't have to deal with all these debuffs right now. So this is, I guess, a slight difference. So that's why I think it was a bit more of a struggle here versus Executrix, just because it was faster than my Home 1 and they were just able to get out plays. For example, at this point, if my Home 1, this would be Chimaera, my Home 1 would be able to clean up my Cassian, heal him up, and I would still have Cassian at this point. So definitely seems like Executrix versus Rebel lineup is better defensively, but it's worse defensively maybe versus Malevolence or something like that. So, you know, it's hard to say which one is better. It's a situational, I guess, you know, matchup, what kind of matchup it is. But as you can see, I'm losing ships, have to deal obviously now with the days from Sith Marauder, but finally was able to burn down Sith Marauder. And here comes the ultimate. And again, ultimate from Executrix is not as scary as Chimaera's one, but definitely not pretty banners at all. Finally hitting my ultimate as well, finishing off their Pulp Shuttle, and as well finishing off TIE Reaper there for you know, 64 banners, which is not great, but I just wanted to try this out just to see what's the difference. And definitely Executrix being faster than my Home 1 definitely feels like I was all the time a step behind, whereas versus Chimaera, you know, you're always ahead, faster than Chimaera, because Chimaera is a quite slow capital ship. Okay guys, so that's all for this week's counter testing video in 3v3 Grand Arena. Hope you find it useful and helpful. Let me know in the comments below or on my Discord server. But until then, have fun, enjoy your life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.